Hey, what's going on, everyone? So I kind of wanted to switch things up. I just wanted to like calmly rant, get a few things off my chest, and I'm gonna be using this Streets of Rage 2 footage. And yeah, I don't have a capture card at the moment, so don't judge me. But if you dig this type of format, let me know, and I'll try to do these more often. So as most of you know, that I am not a huge fan of Donald Trump, but I do not see him in the way that all of these liberals in the mainstream media has been painting him. I was very surprised that he won, but at the same time, I actually rather him win than Hillary Clinton for X amount of reasons. The biggest one is that her thirst for just like wanting to go to war with Russia, saying that, oh, cyber hacks, yada yada, this and that, we will meet that with military strength, and just all of this dangerous rhetoric that I just could not tolerate. And I found it kind of insane and crazy with how anti-war liberals usually are, with how much they just ignored that because thinking that, Donald Trump's some type of Nazi or something, which just sounds so absurd because Donald Trump has been in the limelight for decades, and all of a sudden these allegations and just this type of rhetoric started to spring up, just a little bit, before he says that, oh, I'm thinking about running for president, then he's like, I am going to, and all of a sudden, yeah, now he's a Nazi. Now he's the worst person on planet Earth and he needs to be defeated. And it's just really unfortunate because you're really seeing just how badly the country's being divided. You're always going to see protests. There's always going to be like the Antifas, the commies. There's always going to be radical liberals. There's always going to be just really hardcore conservatives protesting for whatever reason it is. And it's just like it's gotten a little bit out of control, and I completely, or not completely, but I mainly blame this on the media because of just how much they're just dishing out disinfo and becoming what has been called fake news. And the funny thing is, I don't even like to talk about the elections that much because I just don't like how things are set up. I don't like that, say, somebody like Bernie Sanders can get completely cheated out of winning the Democratic nomination, and then people just still putting their chips in Hillary Clinton's camp. Like we all knew that how like corrupt and how dangerous she was, but you just were like, oh, anyone but Trump. And I just could not believe that things got to that, got escalated that much, where I'm like, I think that we should be much smarter at this point, but apparently we aren't. Apparently we're just gonna keep like this stupid left-right paradigm thing. We're gonna let people that have a lot of power and influence just keep lobbying and cheating other people that deserve a chance. I just hope that the really far left-leaning progressives, they really just start to calm down as the months start to progress and start to realize that maybe they have been lied to a little bit, maybe that they've been a little bit deceived, maybe they'll feel a little bit ashamed that, the establishment is playing them. I personally know people that have fallen for this bullshit too, and it's really unfortunate. People that I've had political discussions with in the past that have said they've had major criticisms of Obama or something, saying that, oh, like, it's really unfortunate that he didn't close Guantanamo Bay, he didn't pull out the troops right away. Oh, the National Defense Authorization Act is horrible. Oh, all the drone strikes, and meanwhile he gets a Nobel Peace Prize. So many things that were like, just like, this is insane, like there's still a problem, we can do better. And then all of a sudden, you have some candidates that maybe be able to do better, and then they get cheated out, and then they kind of don't raise a stink about it. What they raise a stink about is just, the Republicans, just saying that they're the worst people in the world. And Donald Trump, I don't know. I don't think they really had anything to say about him until he ran for politics, as I said. And that's one of my biggest criticism of people that are so against him. One thing I want to touch on is the Women's March. So that just happened not too long ago, and to them, according to them, it was a major success. People were like, woo, yeah, millions of women in the western parts of the world came together. They marched on the streets. They had all their flyers, all these anti-Trump things, some things about women's rights, but a lot of just buffoonery, just people just acting a fool. And just being some of the worst people on fucking earth. But, other people were just kind of being there and trying to see what's up. And I saw a lot of footage. I've seen a lot of people being interviewed, and a lot of people didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Now, they do have a website out, and they have goals. It's just a bunch of, pipe dream shit and stuff that, that women already kind of have when they keep talking about women's rights. And I keep wondering, like, what rights, what are they talking about? Like, what rights do men have that women don't? Like, Like, you challenge somebody, ask them this, and they don't really have a legitimate answer. They keep saying shit like, "Oh, you think just because we have equal rights, quote unquote, that is means that people respect those rights?" And I'm like, well, yeah, they should. They should, you know, like if somebody's doing something illegal, like there's something against your rights, you can call them out on it. You can get the police involved. You can get like, there's so many solutions. There's social fucking media. If someone's doing something legitimately wrong, you can fucking crack down on it. You know, one of the biggest things that people always want to talk about is the wage gap. And it pisses me off. They want to say that women make 77 cents on the dollar that men do, you know, like say, oh, they're making so much less. And it's like, this thing has been debunked so many times. It is fucking pathetic at this point. But I also wonder, what is their end game? I see what they say on their websites and that they want equality and rights for all women. But, you know, they alienated millions of women that voted for Trump and just, you know, other women that just disagree with their ideologies. And it really angers me that there's women in other parts of the world that really need rights. I saw posters of women wearing hijabs and other women just, you know, just trying them on and just being like, oh, this is so great. You know, the hijab, it's so cultural, it's so amazing. And meanwhile, it's just batshit insane to me because it's, you know, that's the symbol of patriarchy and oppression, something that they should probably hate, you know, something that like a lot of Muslim women, they despise that shit because they're forced to wear this shit. And meanwhile, you have people in the West that are celebrating it, and it's kind of like spitting in their face, you know. And there's so many other problems, there's so many other things that we can be focusing on. But no, let's just focus on the little things that bother us, the little minor trivial inconveniences that plague the women in the West. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure people would take things like this and feminism much more seriously if they actually had a noble cause. And the last thing I want to talk about is punching Nazis. You know, I've been seeing this for days. It's just days of just, oh, it's totally cool to punch Nazis. You know, pretty much anyone that's on the left are like, yeah, damn right I'd punch a Nazi. Oh, my grandfather fucking punched Nazis. They fought and they shot him. They killed him. And then I'm just like, whoa. I mean, okay, I understand the whole Nazi Germany thing, you know, that got taken very far and they needed to be brought to justice. They needed to be dealt with. But nowadays, pretty much anyone that disagrees with kind of these progressive liberal politics, you know, they're Nazis. You know, if you care about your heritage, or if you care about, if you're a nationalist and you happen to be white and you care about your white heritage or something like that, you are now a Nazi. You know, there's no in between. You know, even though, like, say, in my point of view, I'm pretty sure there's differences between, like, ethno-nationalism, you know, white nationalism and white supremacy, or just straight up being a neo-Nazi. Like, there's different types of this shit, but now, you know, to a liberal, it's just all bundled in one nice and neat package, you know. You are white, you disagree with us, you are the enemy, you are a Nazi, and you need to be fucking punched. It just pisses me off because a lot of people that I know and respect, you know, they agree with this, you know. They're the type of people that want to attack you for just having disagreements that, like, you're like, oh, you don't think the way I think? Oh, you like Donald Trump? Well, you are a Nazi scumbag and I want to beat the shit out of you. And I can't really wrap my head around it. Like, when the fuck did people, you know, get so goddamn violent? I thought liberals were the ones that were all supposed to be cool, calm, and collective, and the conservatives were the gun-toting assholes that want to pick fights with everyone. They're the fucking bullies. And now it's just like, it completely 180'd, where the people on the right are being very chill, they're being very calm. There's still a bunch of extreme conservatives, but they're kind of not really saying anything right now, maybe because they're like, oh, we're tired of getting bullied, you know, so we're just gonna keep quiet. And now you have this as a result. You have that guy, Richard Spencer, which, you know, he's already said that he's not a Nazi. He's not a white supremacist. He doesn't have a problem with black people or whatnot or whatever. He's just concerned about the way the country that he lives in is going, because there's all this rhetoric about how white people this, white people that, you know. And I would feel the same way if I was a white person, you know. And that's one thing that I understand. I may not fucking like a lot of his rhetoric and shit that and ways that he deals with shit, you know. He's kind of like somewhat of a provocateur, but at the same time, if somebody was spouting a bunch of rhetoric, anti-black rhetoric, and they were saying that, like, oh, you're this and you're that, just saying just a bunch of horrible bullshit, I would be very defensive, and I would also be concerned about, black people in the United States if we were talking about that. So I just want people to see it from that point of view, where it's like, if people would stop freaking out so goddamn much, people like Richard Spencer wouldn't exist. Like, he wouldn't have a reason or a need to speak out. He's just kind of threatened, and you back somebody up against the wall, and they're gonna start being a little bit fucking nasty. They're gonna start standing up for themselves. They're gonna start saying some stuff that's kind of radical, but at the same time, you're like, well, fuck, what else? What would you do? The thing that pisses me off about all of this is that, just me having to defend people like Richard Spencer, or having to defend Donald Trump, or just, having to, like, kind of shit on feminism when, like, say, yeah, there was supposed to be some good to it, but look what it's become. And it paints you, like, say, as a monster to other people that are completely against Donald Trump, or that are completely for feminism, because they just don't understand. They can't reach a middle ground and realize that, like, there's reasons why people have problems with these movements, or there's reasons why people are pro-Trump, and it has nothing to do with, like, racism or fucking bigotry. And if we could just sit down and have these, like, have discussions, like, we can probably actually get to that common ground that we so desperately need. Anyways, I didn't want to get too deep into this. I just wanted to, just rant a little bit, get some things off my chest, and I wanted to kind of just have a little bit of composure, and maybe try not to, I tried not to swear as much, because I want this to kind of reach more people. And so make sure, if you like this, share this with somebody. Maybe it'll actually kind of make some sense. It'll talk some sense into some people that are radical, the ones that are sharing all these memes of Trump getting killed or Nazis being punched or something. Maybe they can see, like, oh, well, maybe I am overreacting. Maybe I should kind of listen to some of these people. Maybe I should hear some of these people out, and maybe realize that not everyone's a fucking white supreme Nazi or some shit. Well, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. I'm fucking terrible at ending things.